Welcome back to the BVarsity Live Super Show. Zach Ewing and Trevor Horn in the Bakersfield, Californian studios here in downtown Bakersfield with Highland coach Michael Gutierrez. We are an hour in. I did want to mention, by the way, and this is something I forgot to say at the open of the show, which I should have. We want to send Californian BVarsity condolences to the family of Doc Buchanan, who passed away yesterday at age 91. And I listen, I know Clovis is the rival for a lot. Clovis schools are the rival for a lot of Bakersfield schools, but this guy was a program builder. He was good for kids. He was good for high school sports in the state of California. So we do want to pass along those thoughts.
I was in the third graduating class of Buchanan, and just what he was able to bring to that community over the years since he started in the 1960s, absolutely phenomenal. I got to see him in May at the CIF state swimming and diving meet, and for him to be there and be a part of, the first ever swim meet in the state history, and being in his backyard in a complex that he helped create, months before he died, I'm sure. And then, weeks after that, the next week after that, the state track and field meet is at Buchanan. And so, those are just things that he helped create, and he was a great guy and a great man for the central section and for obviously for Clovis.
Yeah, so, the reason you have those facilities and those events up there, really, it all started with Doc Buchanan. Yep. So that's something that we need to mention. And Frank Gifford, of course, passing away on Sunday at age 84. It's been a week, man. It's been a week.
Yeah.
Okay, let's focus in on Highland football. Michael Gutierrez is here, and you guys are building something up there in the Northeast, I think. Do you feel that way in year two with the Scots?
Yeah, we're excited. We our numbers have been great this year. The depth that we expect to have is something that I don't know. If
Get real close to that mic for me, Coach.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah. So yeah, we're excited. Just we have a great group of young men that have been there and just competing every day, just trying to find some spots.
Yeah, I think one of those guys who feels like he's been in the school for like 7 years, even though it's only been 4, is Breaker Brandon. Well, he's finally gone now. Who can step in that sort of playmaker role? First of all, let's start with quarterback that you guys are expecting a big year out of.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the biggest thing with some of the stuff we did last year is, just Breaker being such a special guy is, I'd never imagine our quarterback running that much. Mm-hmm. And just the stuff he brought was great for us. So, we have a couple guys competing for the spot that, we're hoping by, our week 1 game against Arvin, we can, define a role and know who's going to lead us the rest of the way. But, we're not expecting anyone to do the exact same stuff. We have plenty of playmakers who we think, as long as we get them the ball, we'll be okay.
Could be a situation where things are more spread out. The ball goes to a lot of different guys.
Yeah, and that's one of the great things about our offense is, we want to find guys, find our playmakers the ball. And, we have a lot of our 4 or 5 offensive linemen returning. So we're pretty confident with our run game that we're going to be able to pound the ball a little bit and then also just get the guys the ball in space.
How comfortable are you at Highland now that you've had that year under your belt?
Oh, just from last year and in the springtime to this year, being able to be on campus and, really see the guys, not just after school, but, finding to talk to them at lunch or in between periods. It was, just go find them real quick. So it's definitely been a lot easier this off season, and it's a school that's been very welcoming to me. The school's just been great to myself, our staff, and everything that we've wanted to do.
Well, and I think the one thing I noticed, like talking to Brett Shelton over at Stockdale, it's you get that year under the belt, so the kids, and really the kids get to know you as a head coach, and they feel comfortable with you, because that's the biggest thing. Is because if they don't feel comfortable with you, they're not going to buy into the system right away, and maybe that's kind of what happens in the first year, especially both of you guys are pretty young, and so maybe the kids look at that differently. But do you feel like with the kids buying in that you no longer have to be the guiding hand, that they kind of do it themselves now?
Well, we were very lucky with our senior class last year of guys like Breaker Brand, Eric Saavedra, who, they bought into everything we wanted to do. And so they kind of set that expectation just for our leaders of how we expect them to be. And so obviously them being kind of the big guys on campus, the young guys saw it, and I think that gave some of the belief. And, I think just being there for that year, as guys come out to practice, they know what to expect. There's certain things they know, certain days, we have certain things going on, and it's, not a surprise. They just know that comes with playing football at Highland High School.
Right.
Who do you have who will be sort of your highlight reel players? Is it Chance Cooper? Is he the guy who, has the possibility to be that guy who can make a game-breaking play?
Chance I think is a special player because he, last year, led us in receiving as a junior, and maybe had 2 drop passes all year.
Wow.
I mean, he just probably some of the best hands I've seen. But we have Chance, who can do quite a few things for us. Jacob Hargerstrom is going to be a receiver for us, who I think kind of brings a speed that can stretch the field. Pete Laird's a 6'3" receiver that we'll have on the outside. That we're hoping to find some corners to really use that height advantage with. And then the backfield will have Marquis Lewis and Rodney Roden, who I think both combine speed and power.
Yeah, absolutely. How about on the defensive side of the ball? We know that's something Highland's hung its hat on for a long time. That's going to continue, I imagine.
Yeah, no, we want to be, physical. We want to fly around. We've been, preaching to our team the last 2 years of getting 11 guys at the football. We pride ourselves on getting guys that football, and, let's see if we can get a strip or something and just cause some type of turnover. And a lot of it, I think, is going to start with our defensive line. And Carlo Balme had a pretty good junior year, where we're hoping that he really just breaks out this year after all the work he's put in.
Let's talk about the league for a few minutes, the Southeast Yosemite League. Almost like you have these, it's only a 5-team league, but there's sort of these tiers where North and South have played essentially league championship games the last couple of years, and then Foothill and Miramonte have struggled to beat anybody the last couple of years. Highland's sort of stuck in the middle there. Are you guys feel like you're moving into that top tier, and what do you have to do to get in there?
Well, I mean, we're hoping, and that's ultimately our goal. We don't want to just stay complacent there,
Sure.
but we think that we are moving in the right direction. And one of the things that we know about this league, and I've talked to some of the other coaches about it, is all the schools in our league, we just fluctuate so much. Mm-hmm. And I think we've been very fortunate that at Highland we've stayed pretty consistent. So hopefully now we can start taking that step. But we know South's always going to be a tough team with the speed and size that they have, and so hopefully we can go out and just compete with them this year.
Michael, we'd like to get the O-linemen, the big uglies, some notoriety. Talk to me about those 4 guys that are up front and who they are.
Yeah, so Carlo Balme, Augustine Rodriguez are our 2 tackles. Elias Moshreff is returning at center, and then we have Christian Herrera and Pedro Flores, who both played some guard for us last year.
No, I almost heard you say it, but I almost feel like if he's an offensive lineman, Augustine has to go by Augie, right?
He does.
Okay.
He does.
It
Yeah.
just feels right for an offensive lineman.
I can just say, I let my friends call me Mike, but my mom and my sister get mad when people actually call me that, so I don't want his mom to be mad at me for calling him Augie on there.
Well, no, I won't call you that anymore either.
If mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy, and we know that's the truth. But, yeah, we can call him Augie, I think. He's an offensive lineman.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
Let's take a look at your schedule. Michael.
Mike's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Coach.
Yeah, coach, there you go. We start week 0 with Arvin. Last year, you guys won that game. I want to say it was 26-25.
Yeah.
Sets the tone for the season a little bit, whether you win that. I mean, it's been a close game. Gosh, that you guys have played that opener for, I want to say, 10 years. And every year it comes down to the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And it can set the tone. I mean, you guys probably don't make the playoffs last year if that's a 1-point loss instead of a 1-point win. How important is that opener for setting the tone?
Well, I'd said last year that I think that game would really set how our season would go, and not necessarily off wins and losses, but off of just our kids buy-in. And I think we won that first game, and our guys, you could see they had been believing all summer, but getting that win, our seniors last year never beaten Arvin before. So I think it really set the tone for that. And I think same thing this year. I mean, Arvin, we know, is always going to be a tough team. Coach Myers does a great job with them, where you know what they're going to do, but they do it well. So it's something that we look at our schedule. We know every year you have a challenge that first game.
I messed up there. Which one of those games, Golden Valley East, Chavez, is on the road? Because one of those has to be on the road. Which one
Actually,
is it?
all 3 are at home.
So you only have... You're
We're
playing
at-
6 games?
We have 6 home
6
games.
games
Six
at the
home
Scotland
games.
Yard. I like that.
I like that.
If you actually get to play Taft this year, that'll be a road game. And last year that didn't happen. Of course,
Right.
that's the awkward other side of the situation where they had the hazing incident out there and forfeited that game to you. But this year that game will, we think, be played. And then Golden Valley East, we see Independence on October 2nd, and then Chavez, the SSL champion. This is a pretty challenging non-league schedule. How well does that set you up for the SEYL?
Yeah, we think we can be sitting pretty well going into league just based off the competition we play. I mean, Golden Valley is always just a tough team. They have been consistent for just years. East High is really our big rival, so that's not just a regular game; it's an emotional game for our guys.
Sure.
And, Chavez, just you guys have reported on, and I mean we saw it firsthand just how well they have started to turn around things over there. So we feel going to
Casey
league.
Quinn's got some good things going on up there.
He's done a very good job.
But it's a thing where you could drop 2 or 3 of those games, and I know you don't want to, but
Yeah.
you could, and still feel like you prepared yourself well for the SEYL.
Well, and we had I think 4-game losing streak going into our league game, and we finally got over the hump against Miramonte, and just that relief off our guys last year. But our guys also knew that each week they were getting better, playing very tough opponents.
Sure, absolutely. And South was the team that knocked you out of the league race and then knocked you out of the playoffs as well. So that's a game. Has that become a little bit of a rivalry? You guys haven't been in the same league except for just this year, but it sort of feels like maybe that's developing too with maybe just last year.
Yeah, I mean, we played them twice last year, and unfortunately it didn't finish the way that we wanted to. But we always know that Coach Mills is going to get those guys ready, and just the speed that they bring is, I think, no matter who you are, is something that you can't teach that. Mm-hmm. So you have to be very disciplined and make sure you're taking care of your responsibility when you're going to face them.
I don't know how well known this fact is, but Independence and Miramonte were in a league of only new schools the first year they came into existence in 2008. They split the league title. So officially, they each have a league title. That means the only school in Bakersfield that has never won a league title is Highland. Mm-hmm. Do you guys talk about that? Do you know that? Are the kids aware of that? And how much would it mean to sort of be the team that breaks that?
We don't. We obviously have it on our mind, and we have kids who talk about winning league and all that. But one thing that we've talked to them about is we don't. When we set goals, we don't want it to be too much. We want X amount of wins, or we want a league title, because after you win 7 games, what do you do the next 3?
Right.
If you win a league title, are we going to become complacent and, you lose in the first round, no big deal because we won a league title? We just want to keep getting better every day. So we know it's there, but it's not something we really focus on.
Ding. I'm just kidding. We were saying in the last segment we needed a bell for every time a coach said we have to focus week by week. And again, we totally understand why you guys think that way.
There's a reason why
We'd
they
probably
all say
think that way the same if we were that way too, but we're just hardwired to think differently, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, Michael Gutierrez, the Highland Scots head football coach, year 2 of the Gutierrez era. Must feel good to say that and kind of have the transition over.
Yeah, no, it's just, been a great, thing for me up there. I've been very fortunate that Highland High School believed in me, and we had, the campus has really embraced me, and we've had a great group of parents and young men who have really done everything we asked. So we've been very fortunate to be working at Highland High School.
Well, I'll tell you what, good luck this year, and we'll see you out at Scotland Yard sometime.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Coach Michael Gutierrez for Highland will be right back. Liberty coach Brian Nixon's up next on the BVarsity Super Show.